My name is David Kamanzi, and I was born in Bushenyi by Bishop Elijah Kamanzi, who served God. He raised all of us. We were born 9 of us, and I'm the second born. And then he was the senior pastor of all the churches in Bushenyi, and during the leadership of Idi Amin, my father was faced a lot of imprisonments and torture by the regime because they thought they didn't want Christianity in the area. So he was in prison, and then they came and imprisoned my elder brother. He was kidnapped by the soldiers, and I was left to fend for my siblings. And those days I was 9 years old. I was still young, and I also thought I had nothing to give to my siblings, and so I took them to a nearby church member who then I had to run away and ended up in Mbarara, where I lived on the streets and joined a group of street boys, and I lived a very, very painful life, and eating from the garbage because I had no food, and slept many times in toilets, and yeah, the life was very difficult at the age of 9. That made me be engaged in all kind of drugs and marijuana and injected drugs in my body to really try to cover up the pain I was going through, because more drugs I had, the more pain it really gave me. And so the going on an empty stomach, so we used to really get drugs so that we cannot feel that we are hungry, that we are have nothing to eat. So and then after some time, this pastor came who used to visit us and share the gospel with us, and he brought us bananas and chapatis. And this pastor, for many years, he kept on coming. He had struggles trusting him because we could not trust everybody, because all these guys would come trying to beat us up, chase us. So I thought this man also was up to really trying to cause harm or try to get rid of us. And so I struggled with trusting this man. And then after some time, this really man showed us love, and I ended up asking me to come and live with him in his home. And then that night I had a good bed for the first time. I had a shower that I've not had for 9 years. And to cut the long story short, his time when was finished, because he had come to Mbarara to start Mbarara Christian Center, and then he had to go back to Nigeria, and he left me in this wonderful home where he had paid rent for the whole year, and then I was like, oh, I have this now home, why don't I go and bring some of the young boys that I had left on the streets, because still after then I had been going, giving them some bananas, and so I went and I suggested to them to come and live with me. So they came and we stayed together. They had a meal and shelter, and I thought, but after some time I thought, these children did not need just only meals and whatever I could provide. They needed more than what I was giving them. And then a friend suggested to me to join a school in YWAM. It's called the DTS, Discipleship Training, where I was enrolled, and I did a school in YWAM. And I really learned about forgiveness. I learned about repentance. I learned about, you know, bringing the I learned about they had all these wonderful topics about knowing God and making Him known, and it was wonderful. It was an eye opener to the plan God has for mankind. And so and then when I came, and that's where I met my wife Esther. She was a staff in YWAM. She came in YWAM from Rwanda after her parents were killed in genocide, and almost our story almost related. And we knew that we were coming together. And then we got married. We have been married, and then she moved to Mbarara, where together we've been reaching out to the boys. Now we have 21 children in our home and 20 in our outreach. We call it the extension program, and so my wife reaches out to these girls who have babies. Thank God. Recently, we've started a school. David and Lee Paris helped us with a roof for our school, and we've been able to bring all these babies that the mothers see them as the unwanted, the rejected, and now have had an opportunity to go to school, and so we are so grateful. And then I was also introduced to another school by a friend. It's in where called New Hope, Uganda, where I was engaged. I did an Institute of Child Care and Family. I knew about the heart of God for the fatherless, and then this has really helped us, prepared us to do what we're doing. To cut the story short, then I came to meet David Palis in Kampala when I had come for those days. I was organizing a meeting, a pastors and leaders meetings, and then a friend in the US, Jerry, had sent a package to David and Lee Paris. And then I was getting to know them. I had them talk about the school that I thought I needed to attend. And this man, David Paris, was teaching about business, and he was teaching topics about He taught many topics. He taught about knowing your business and tell people about your business. He talked many topics about writing your business, knowing your customers, satisfying your customers. And here I had come to I was organizing for this conference, and I thought we were bringing all pastors, over 800 pastors, to teach them, encourage them in the work of their ministry. And I thought, wow, this is also a wonderful tool that can be used by the pastors and leaders here, because then the Church of Christ, we need to grow in all areas. God has blessed us not only spiritually, but He wants us to realize all His blessings. And then he was teaching about work, and we realized how God, one way we can receive our blessing. He said, "I will bless the works of your hands." So if we are to tap into His blessings, then God expects us to do some work. And that's where during the time as a home, as a ministry, we were really struggling, and we needed another income, and I knew I wanted to do transport. David and Palis helped us to a friend had offered to give me a car, and he wanted me to transfer the car into my names, and so they helped us. And I said, I want to go and work on my business. I want to go and do what this man was teaching us. And so I went, I looked for the jobs, and I started with my neighbors, because then I knew they had children. They wanted transporting their children to school. So I talked to them, I have this wonderful car, I can transfer your children to the school. So I did, and we've been able to make some good money. Many times I transport people from Mbarara to Kampala, from the airport back to Mbarara, and I loved to do this business. And in my community, some pastors there think I am a successful man, but then I tell them I love to work. I have learned principles of working and being blessed through the works of my hands. And so as we're organizing this conference in July, I want to go and share and talk to the leaders that we always bring together. Our team from the US, Maddie and Rebecca, coming to teach leaders and pastors. And we want to bring this business, teach people about, find something they can do with their hands if they then need God to bless them, and how wonderful it is how they can do some work apart from the ministry, preaching, and don't expect to really receive from the offerings. So we're so grateful for what God is doing in our lives since we met David and Lee Paris and the Project of Love, because then it's a family. It has connected us to all these other young men. I get to know other young men who are involved into the business world, and when I am stuck in some area, I call Neri, I call all these guys together. We contribute, we support each other, we encourage each other in business, and it's a wonderful venture. I love to do business, and we have come to Kampala today. We will be having a conference also. We'll be blessed to have Gary, who is going to be facilitating our business class, and we are so blessed.